Attorney at law and author Gabriel Christian is calling for the integration of Caribbean history within Dominica's education system and appealed to a greater appreciation of culture and the people who have contributed significantly to Dominica's development decades ago. This comes on the heels of his new book, Aboard the Comandante Pineres, which tells the story of Dominica's independence movement, the 11th World Festival of Youth and Students, and the Caribbean struggle for national liberation. He also stressed on the impact that knowledge on Dominica's history could have on its population and how it could be a gateway to achieving national pride.
We've done a poor job in doing our history. Lennox Honeychurch has been there, he's done good work. How much of that is integrated? A friend of mine by the name of Alec Lawrence, through Pontcassi Press, published a book on civics. Is that in the curriculum? In this book is a comment made to me when I won the 1977 National Elocution Contest. The person who gave me the award was a gentleman by the name of Raymond Lawrence. I saw him on a panel talking about the 40th anniversary of Dominica's independence. He had said to me, when giving me the award, that independence is not a rose garden. That was the time Idi Amin was in Uganda, destroying Uganda. He was a dictator in Uganda. He's right. Independence has not been a rose garden. We've had many challenges, many setbacks. We've made some progress. But what shall be the message of the 40th anniversary of independence? Shall it be the CO in the park where they're destroying the Botanic Gardens, which is frankly a shame the way I've seen it. Although we've tried to develop it, we have a website on the Botanic Gardens. But it's poorly kept, and they keep shows there. How much of that is focused on botanic sciences, on commercial botany, on making the park a place that can be a visitor center? When we talk about reunion, how much of that is about learning and about respecting that which people have contributed to Dominica? We focus in Dominica too much, in my view, on the celebratory. I like music. I like a good time. But frankly, we will not rise as a society where 70 to 80% of our engagement is of a celebratory type with drink and song and nothing that focuses on industry, on agriculture, on the sciences, on learning, on books, at the center of everything we do.
Christian said if Dominica is making a serious go at independence, there must be a focus on exalting the arts and the sciences, learning and industry.
This whole idea that our culture is subsumed in wine, women and song, and in CO as they call it, will be our total downfall. And I have to say it, and I'm being blunt about it, we've missed the boat if we reduce culture to dancing in the street, where we cannot look at laboratories, we cannot look at institutions. Edward Oliver LeBlanc was a cultural nationalist. Where is a museum on Edward Oliver LeBlanc as they have in Trinidad on Dr. Eric Williams, or maybe in Ghana on Kwame Nkrumah? Where is the museum on the history of the working class movement? Not the Labour Party, because the Labour Party came out of the Dominica Trade Union movement. The Dominica Trade Union movement came first. We have the Dominica Trade Union Hall. It's the same way as it was in 1945. They've not even really developed it as a museum to trade unionism, where E.C. Loblack and others like Austin Winston and Henry Nichols try to develop working class culture. So I don't want to sit here and just say nice things. We have work to do. We do it better where we work together, but we better be about the business of learning, and we better be disciplined about building institutions.
He said 11 Dominicans traveled aboard the Comandante Pineres from Montego Bay to Cuba.
Greg Rabes, Agnes Espri, Dr. Steve John, he wasn't Dr. Steve John then, myself, Gabriel Christian, Pierre Charles was the head of our delegation, Debbie Douglas, who was the daughter, the first child of Rosie Douglas. She was one of two women on the delegation, and there's several others whose names I can't recall, Daru, Alexis Williams, and others. So we also give the names of the first 11 Dominican students in Cuba, people like Lloyd Pascal, Julian Privot, and all the others. All these names are there. And the importance of history is, if you don't record it, it will disappear. So in the early days, you had the movement for New Dominica, Para Rivere, Joey Pelletier, Atherton Marte, Crispin Gregoire, Donald Peters, who's now the head of the State College. Young people today do not know the history of those folk. So I tried to recapture that memory. The Dread War with Peter Allen in the mountains of Tumba, the attempt to invade Dominica by the Nazi party and the Ku Klux Klan, when Patrick John got distracted and started making errors. His removal in 1979 after the May 29th uprising, which showed that the Labour Party, which had brought much progress to Dominica, including independence, went astray. And that always is the danger in democracy, that where you don't have institutions to balance between government and opposition, to have a parliament that does its work, to have oversight, and to have leaders who are disciplined, you can go astray. And it's important to know that history because somewhere I read, past is prologue. That means if you do not know your history, oftentimes you're doomed to repeat the worst parts of it.
Copies of the book will be donated to the public library. It is also sold at Jay's bookstore at $40 EC. The book was officially launched on August 19th.